Well, welcome everybody to another stream with the Junkman's Adventures. I'm the Junkman and I'll be your host tonight. Tonight's topic, we're going to talk about our favorite tools. Well, to get a little bit of house cleaning out of the way, I want to thank everybody who's a subscriber, and if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. I guess it goes without saying, like this video and this stream. It helps me out. Also, if you're live in the chat right now, consider hitting that $sign and donating via super chat. You can donate as little as $1 or however much you want. It helps keeps the infrastructure going here and keeps me producing videos and other content for you, as well as these live streams. Of course, you never have to do that. Anything's appreciated. Just the view is appreciated. But I just want to get that out of the way. I always like to thank all my viewers, because without my viewers, there would be no channel here. Hopefully, you're seeing a very stable stream and video right now. Because I don't know my internet connection. I'm doing this over wireless, so it might be a little shaky at times. But looks like it's holding in good. Waiting for some people to hop in on the chat here. And as we do that, I guess let's just get started with the topic at hand. It's your favorite tools, and this can be anything. I mean, obviously, I'm in the garage here, so naturally, people will think of mechanics tools. But you know, a lot of things can be tools. And I want to apologize for maybe my voice, and if I sniffle a little bit here, kind of getting over a cold, and that's why I haven't been streaming a little bit. Wanted to stream. Wanted to stream a little bit earlier, and couldn't. Just wasn't feeling up to it. Still not feeling 100%. So just want to get that out of the way. But anyway, hey, I got my first person in the chat. My good old friend Jack Boot. He's a devoted viewer of mine. Always generally gets into my chats, at least for the first half hour of them, and I sure appreciate it. His favorite tool is carb cleaner. Yeah, that's a good tool to have. You know, I'll one up you on that. I'll say brake clean actually kind of trumps that, because you can, in my opinion, you can use it in more places for general kind of cleaning of oil and such. And Jack Boot, he's feeling a little under the weather. Seems like it's going around all over the country. So I don't have it. I don't have the flu. I got the cold. But anyway, brake cleaner would be mine. But carb cleaner, yep, I buy that stuff by the case. Obviously, the spray kind, and even the dip kind that I'll put in a little spray bottle sometimes. I'll show some of mine. I picked a variety here, and these definitely aren't. These are just kind of what easily came to mind. I'll start with one of my power tools, and arguably this right here. Now, I prefer the Makita brand, but I mean, different brands make different ones of these. But the point is an impact driver with the changeable bits, like what you see in here. I use this thing all the time for different things. I have other tools that use this battery pack, but I find this thing indispensable for all kinds of jobs, not just mechanic and things. And I don't know what I do without it. So that's a power tool there. We got somebody in here. Forster K6, Katie. Orbital sander is her favorite power tool. Yes, it is. That's my wife. She's the moderator in here. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that. Or you going live here. So if you guys get too raucous, she'll kick you out. But anyway, orbital sander, yes. She likes to do some woodworking and things. And I have my air compressor, and I have a 5 and a 6-inch orbital sander. She really likes to use those for fine finishes on wood and things. And old Bradley says his favorite tool is electrical tape. Yeah, can't get around not having electrical tape. except for maybe duct tape. But that's a close. Electrical tape is a close second in my book. Um, Strawberry Mousse, battery impact drill, and flashlight. Yeah, those are probably indispensable tools to have that you use all the time. Like I said, for power tools, this one here, I mean, drill, yes, but honestly, I use this more than a drill, more when I have to think about it. Getting into some hand tools here. And I won't start with that one. I'll start with maybe I'm not really ranking these, but I don't. This doesn't get used a lot, but when I do, this particular pair of channel locks, I've had a lot over the years, and normally I hate channel locks because inexperienced users use them to round off nuts and bolts because that's not what they're used for. However, this particular brand, the Irwin brand, I like because it has this little button, and if you can see, all these little ridges, so it has very fine increments, and it doesn't slip, so it stays there. So honestly, this arguably is my favorite kind of pliers type tool, mostly because of this feature here. So if you need a pair of channel locks and you don't have one, I recommend this one. And also the grips are pretty good, but it's mostly this mechanism here, so you can put it exactly where you want it and doesn't slip. And if you've used channel lock type, or channel lock is a brand, and this is the competitive one. But anyway, you know what I mean. This is the one I recommend. We have. Okay, and Katie says her favorite kitchen tool. Yeah. When you're cooking in the kitchen or anything, those are tools. Those are tools. Is her KitchenAid mixer, and she has a favorite knife as well. Yeah. Me and Katie like to cook a lot, and she's a very good baker as well. And that KitchenAid mixer gets used quite a bit, and it's the industrial version versus that. Jack Boots says most tools struggled with is a welder. Yeah, welding takes some skill, and sometimes the quality of the welder itself can aid to some that struggle. However, even the cheapest welders, if you understand how to set them up, they can do some pretty miraculous stuff. It's all about technique with that, and yes, it takes practice. In another life, I was a production welder for a big company, and I was certified in a couple different positions, and I did some welding of some very hard to weld type of surfaces and substrate metals, and I did that. So I'm probably a little rusty now because I don't weld as much as I'd like to, but it takes practice. I did it through high school and took some college courses even, and but yeah, a welder's a great tool if you have the facility, and obviously there's 110 versions, but if you can get a 220, have 220 in your garage or wherever you're doing it. And Bradley says, I use that exact pair of channel locks at work, and they're great. I agree. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of different brands, but this is the one I've had. I didn't mean to do this, but I'll show you. I do have a second pair that I hate. Yeah, I mean, actually, these are the actual channel lock brand, and as you can see on there, and these are just a backup, or if I need two, and I kind of hate these. And these are the actual channel lock brand. So there's one where the imitator kind of outdid the original there. But we were talking about kitchen tools a little bit there for a minute, and I have one here for when I cook. Is Pampered Chef meat smasher, or Katie's going to correct me here, and she's slapping her head like, oh my God, I told you the exact name of this. Anyways, ground beef. You're cooking it, and it's in a wad, or you get it in that tube, or in little squares, and it's a chopper. And anyway, like this, it's got these are, I mean, it's plastic, but these are kind of sharp, and just do that, and you can chop the meat up with a ground hamburger as you're browning it. So one of my favorite kitchen tools. I don't know how lived without it. Wooden spoon. I just can't go back to a wooden spoon after this. Meat tenderizer. No, that's not what this is. It's a meat chopper. This one happens to be by Pampered Chef. I'm sure there's knockoff brands, but this is the first one. Actually, we have two of these, but normally I don't go for the pricey brands, but this one's definitely worth it for the heft to it and everything. Yeah, it's kind of a hard thing to clean because the meat kind of gets in there, but that's a small trade-off for how well it works in the pan. Also, going down the line here, another less frequently used tool. Well, actually, very infrequently used tool, but when I get to use it, it's a joy to use. And whoops, don't want to show you. I have written on there just for. Let's see. Whoever's in the chat, see if you can see if you can guess what this tool is. And I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna get it. But this tool here, I gotta cover it up because I got the name written on there. But has a screw here. It opens up like this. Has a couple of little dangly things there with a bolt, and it's got holes here and here. You know what? I'll tell you this later. I'll let you guys kind of guess out there and see if you guys can guess this, and then I'll come back to it. This tool is actually made in the USA too, or it's a version that is made in the USA. But it's a joy to use when I get to use it, but it's not used that often. But I will let you guys guess for a minute, and I'll go to a next tool, and then I'll come back to it. Bradley says a spreader. No. But you're kind of on the right track. You're kind of on the right track there. So I'll let you guys guess a little bit there. Next one down the line is one of my hammers, and this is my favorite hammer. I have a couple of different hammers. Some of them you see in the background of my video hanging up just over here. That's why I keep glancing over there. I have other larger hammers that don't hang up. But this particular hammer here, nothing really special about it other than, I forget the ounce on it. I should have, it's 16 ounce, duh. It's a 16 ounce. 16 ounce ball peen hammer. Wood handle and everything. I had it for a long time. I just like it. It's got a nice feel. 16 ounces is about the right amount. It's not too much and it's not too big or too small for most jobs. Like I said, it's got a nice feel to it. And when I need to grab a hammer and I'm not really needing to totally persuade something that you need like a mini sledge, this is the one I go for. I have claw hammers and stuff too for when those are necessary. But in the shop, I more often than not grab this hammer. Love it. Love this particular one. And to be honest, I'm not even sure where I got it. This could be from Harbor Freight for all I know. I don't even remember. I'm thinking it's probably got it at the hardware store, so whatever. But I've had it a good long time. It's pretty beat up, but this is the hammer I like the most. Katie pops in here and says she likes her mini hammer. She has a claw hammer that's a little stubby thing. It's perfect for around the house, hammering little picture frame nails and things like that. Yeah, I'm not allowed to take her tools out of the house, or out of her craft shed, I should say. She has her own set of tools. They stay in the craft shed. And you've seen the craft shed in my other videos. Okay, Jack Boot. We're going back to the specialty tool here. Jack says almost looks like a scissor jack. Well, yeah, that's yeah, it kind of does. I like the ones that come in car, and it's not a jack. Well, you could say it's a jack of some sort. I'll tell you guys. what this is a, they generically call it an engine moving tool, but this one is specifically for GM front wheel drive engines that have the engine mounts on top. So basically, the 3800 series engines, the L36 and can't think of the damn model numbers, but anyways, like the GM 3800 and any of them that have that, what you do is you take the motor mounts off, you put this in place of one of them, and then this goes on the other side. And as you screw it, spread it apart, well, actually you'll spread it apart and then you'll screw it in. And what it does is it rocks the engine forward so you can more easily access the rear bank of cylinders for things like changing spark plugs or the exhaust manifold if you had to take that off. Well, even to get to the ejector is a little bit easier there, but those are pretty easy either way. But and valve cover gaskets and things, and like on some models, like specifically the Impalas and the Monte Carlos and the Grand Prix, it makes getting to the power steering pump a little bit easier too. And the reason why it's one of my favorite kind of specialty tools is because it just works great. I mean, it's a real smooth operation. It does what it says, and it really helps out in those situations. And probably for good reason, I don't get to use it that much. But whenever I have to rock the engine, get to something that's on that rear bank, it makes it a lot easier. It's more of an ease of access thing. And and Bradley says if you have the hammer a long time, it's probably not from Harbor Freight. Yeah, that's a joke, I know, and yeah, I know. I agree. Harbor Freight stuff, some things are of dubious quality. However, I have to disagree on some things. They're great. So, well, it's not a spreader. It actually, you start spreading it and then you close it. If you, well, I'll hold the box up to the camera. You can kind of see how it's used, but it's kind of hard to see there. But it rocks the engine forward, so you're not spreading. I guess you're compressing it in a way. But yeah, Harbor Freight. I have mixed feelings on Harbor Freight. Some things are great. Some things are really crap. Yeah, this one might not be from Harbor Freight, but I do have some other Harbor Freight hammers. Actually, I'm pretty sure my rubber mallet is from Harbor Freight, and I've had it a long time too, and it's getting a little chunked out, but that's partly because I think I used it for doing some pavers work and hitting them pavers. It chunks the end of the rubber because it's probably not really use it. Anyways, yeah, not a one-sided jack. Well, kind of, but yeah, it's to push the engine, pull the engine forward. It rocks it forward. So let's say this is your engine. It's sitting here. You have it mounted here, and then it rocks it forward, so then you can reach back here and access it because you have your firewall in front or here, and you roll it, and then you can get to things a lot easier. So that's kind of, yeah, it's a cool, very specialty tool. If you don't have GM vehicles, then there's no use for it. Moving down the line, I got more we can talk about here. Another one that I've had a very long time, and it's probably about time to get it replaced. But another one of my favorite tools that I use quite a bit is the good old impact driver. And of course, I got the different bits here. But I don't start working on a vintage motorcycle without digging this thing out, especially the ones that have the JIS or JIS Phillips head type screws for the cases and such, found on a lot of the 60s and early 70s stuff that doesn't have hex head stuff. So and of course it's pretty mushroomed from. I've used larger hammers than should probably be necessary, but I've had this, 15, 20 years now, maybe. Yeah, maybe more than that. I don't know, but it is getting a little bit worn out in there, and the spring is, just it's all it does is it gets beat on all the time, and so anyway, but if you're working on vintage motorcycles, this, along with some other common tools, of course you can put sockets and stuff on it. I do that as well. This is an indispensable tool for breaks the corrosion loose and gets those out without stripping them out, so you don't have to cut them out of there or start using easy outs or bolt extractors and getting into that, especially if you're working on a bike where some parts are really hard to find. So Bradley says, why don't more retailers carry JIS stuff? Well, that's because JIS screws are a Japanese standard. It's Japanese industrial standard, maybe is what the acronym, something, but it's Japanese. So we live in America here, so that's probably partly why. Yeah, I don't know why you can't. You mostly have to order those online or go to the tool truck places if you want those brands, the tool truck brands, to get those kind of things. But yeah, I think it's probably mostly because here we have the most common number 2 Phillips, and the profile is just slightly different, and that's why when they're stuck, you don't want to use a number 2 profile screw bit because that'll just round it out. But if you use the JIS and a couple whacks of that, I got some videos showing using this on some screws that it busted them loose without tearing them up. So, oh, you're in Canada. Well, you guys use the metric system, so yeah, it's kind of funny. You maybe don't have them like. Speaking, I'm getting off topic here, but because you're in Canada, Canadian Tire, is that the equivalent to like Harbor Freight down here, or what? Or is it like a Pep Boys? Tell me in the comments there, or in the chat there. I'm a little unfamiliar. Anyway, I want to talk about my number 1 tool here. I might dig out some more just to keep going here, but my favorite tool is this, and not really the ratchet, but the handle, and specifically this type of handle, because it can be used as an extension all the time. When I'm doing quarter-inch drive, when I need quarter-inch drive, I always grab these two together. I almost never use one without the other, unless obviously access is an issue. But this one, and this one I've had a long time. Boy, 20 years. Yeah, this is a Thorson. I mean, I know that's not a high-dollar brand, but I've had this for, like I said, about 20 years, and it's worked great. But my quarter-inch drive handle is actually my most favorite tool, and if I ever lost this, broke it, or the handle broke, I would have to find something equivalent to it pretty quick. This on top of the 10mm socket is probably arguably my most used tool in my toolbox when it comes to taking nuts and bolts apart. So, and for those, because you're going to ask, yes, this is a Craftsman ratchet, but it's an earlier Craftsman ratchet from before they sent all this stuff over to China. So when this one breaks, unfortunately, I'll have to get a Chinese replacement, which I hate because I broke. I don't have it hanging up here, but I broke one of my. Well, this is a 24mm, but I had an inch wrench that was. This isn't Craftsman actually, but inch wrench that was my Craftsman. Broke it, that I'd had since probably the 90s. Yeah, about the 90s. Broke it. Went in to get the replacement, the Chinese one. Bradley says Canadian Tire used to be very good, but now everything is cheap, not unlike some of Harbor Freight. Okay, I just didn't know, just because the name Canadian Tire makes me think of, we have a chain store here. Well, actually, maybe it might be part of it is Discount Tire. And it's like they don't sell tools or accessories or anything like that. That's why tire in the name kind of throws me a little bit. Hey, Sonic Orb Studios. Hello. How are you? Jack says, great memory of tools is a grunge polish wheel my grandpa made from a washer motor, pulley, and connecting rods. Oh, yeah. Uh, Grund. Okay, is a grund. Well, I thought maybe it was a grungy polish wheel. Let's see my grinders right back there. That's actually a bristle disc I got on the one side and another eye. So, but yeah, there you go. I mean, um, out on the farm, in our old shop, we have a grinder that is belt driven, and the motor stands off, and the unit that you put your wheels and whatever on is separate. It's got a big long belt, so you can change accessories real easy or change the speed easy. Yeah. So I know what you're talking about there, Jack. Strawberry Moose says, Dad, that'd be my dad, says air compressor and air tools, die grinder, air jacks, etc. Yeah, pneumatic tools, definitely. If you can run them, they're they can be handy and fun to use. A lot of times I use the electrics because easy grab and go, but when I need to do a lot of work, I get the air tools out. Yeah, Katie uses my grinder back here mostly for sharpening her garden tools. So yeah, that's one thing about my wife you guys might not know. I don't talk a lot about her, and she doesn't get on camera too much. But yeah, she's very handy, with all kinds of tools. Like I said, she really likes more woodworking and things. She does do a little bit of mechanicking, but she does use a lot of the tools in here, power tools and such, all on her own to do little projects and things. And like in her craft shed, we got a bandsaw and have some miter saws, compound miter saws and things like that, power. And she does a lot of that. Yeah, Bradley, the die grinder, yes. I haven't had to use mine lately, but I do use mine quite a bit. I also like my mine's a knockoff, but a rotary tool like a Dremel tool. Very, it's a fun tool to use. I wouldn't call it one of my favorites because it's a little specialized. Sonic Orb says electric impact versus manual impact driver to remove stuck screws, bolts. He's talking about, and that's a good question. I should go into that. Essentially, in a way, each of these tools, and let me step off just to the side here and grab my large electric and actually grab the big dog out of here. Let's see, where is it? Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that's a fun tool I ought to talk about. And okay, let's see. You bring up a good point, Sonic. I can't hold all three of these. So you have the manual way, which you can get a lot done with this. Of course, here's like equivalent like 1/4 inch. So this is like this would be like the equivalent of the hand one, but can do maybe a little bit, do the work a little faster because obviously you can just keep hammering on it. Then you step up to this guy right here, 1/2 inch drive. Don't ask me the specs right off the top of my head, but there you go. Bigger stuff. You don't want to be using this on too small of stuff because you'll just snap the bolts off. There, and then here's my pneumatic version of the electric. Obviously, you have to have pretty good air compressor to run this guy, but there you go. On there, 3 or 4 different tools to kind of do similar jobs, but all depends on how big the job is. But for most home users, and if you're going to just be working on small things, even most automotive things, this guy and this guy are going to do most of what you need to do. These only really come into play when you're working on suspension parts and things. However, I have done, Using this and a combination of a breaker bar have gotten the job done. When access for one of these, you can't do it, or can't get the hose, or battery's dead or something, you know. So there you go, guys. I'm getting a lot of comments in here, so I want to make sure I back up here. We got chain hoist and overhead lifts. Yeah, if you got an A-frame or a beam above the ceiling there, that works. Sonic said, I knew I'd get you talking on that subject. Yeah, well, no, it's a good subject. Jack asked me, do I use starter fluid? No, I don't. I mean, I don't, but I do have a can sitting on the shelf. But I rarely use it. And you know what? Most of the time I use it, what I use it for is not so much for the ether or for starting an engine, but usually I use it more for cleaning. You got to be careful, but you know, if you're just wanting to clean some residue, like some sticky residue, like adhesive or some kind of goo off of the side of some metal or some substrates that it won't harm, obviously, it works great for that. So honestly, I use it more for cleaning than I can't tell you the last time I've actually sprayed it into a carburetor to help get something to run. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because if you have to use starting fluid to get an engine to run, outside of if you flooded the engine because of some other reason, that can help get it started, then clear it out. But if the thing won't start on its own, it's because you have some sort of blockage in the carburetor, some other carburation issue. So that's why I've almost never used starter fluid for starting an engine in my life, almost. So I wanted to kind of go there because that's a good question, because I see, I see on YouTube, but then I see, you know, people out and about, they're squirting in there, it gets to go, and then they spray some more in there, it starts up, you know, their lawnmower or whatever. And the reason it actually starts is because it's just running on the starter fluid and maybe a little bit of gas that's actually making it through that plug jet. That's really their problem. And I think most of you guys from watching my videos know probably to check other things first rather than just hit the starting fluid and such. But it has its use. But no, I don't hardly use it. And Jack Booth says, and the curse of Loctite. Well, that's where people, they don't use the right type. Loctite is a great product. And honestly, Hinkle, the brand that makes, or the manufacturer that makes Loctite, the brand, which owns a lot of other brands, they make some amazing product. Most things that the consumer and retail level doesn't have. I mean, some amazing epoxies. Actually, tell you what, I got some. I have some here. For example, some really specialized. These are just the small packs, but some real specialized super glues that aren't available, you know, retail and such. They're only in the industrial. That bond a lot of things you wouldn't think super glues have. Let's see, what do I got here? Oh, yeah, this is some another instant adhesive kind type that isn't easily sourced retail. This happens to be the Black Max, but yeah, yeah, they make some really cool stuff. But most people, for example, here's what I just pulled out here, Loctite. I don't have a use for this one, so it's kind of old. But you know, this particular one, 277, it's the high strength, obviously red, but it's for fasteners 1 inch and larger. So you use this on a 1/4 inch bolt, yeah, you're snapping it off when you go to remove it. But they make the correct one for a 1/4 inch bolt that, with just a little bit of heat from, say, like a propane torch or something, then it comes off right easy. You know, here's your sticks. I like using these when I have to. This happens to be the blue, the medium for small fasteners, like tiny, like case screws and things. So there you go. There. I even have a, like, here's my large bottle here for 1/4 inch to 3/4. There's your medium there. That's kind of an older bottle. It's been sitting on the shelf, so it's probably, like I said, I don't use it as much as I need to. But you know, things like that. You know, Loctite, when used properly, is a great product. Unfortunately, most people don't use the right one. And yeah, red Loctite, well, the idea is it's supposed to be more almost like a permanent, but heat will remove it, and that's what it's designed. It melts it. It's an anaerobic, geez, I'm getting way off topic here, but it works, it's an anaerobic adhesive, meaning it cures in the absence of oxygen. So when it's in the threads there, it's sealed off on the ends, and then that's when it starts to cure. That's why it almost will not cure ever if you just pour it out on like a piece of metal or something. I mean, eventually it'll just dry up, but it won't ever cure. It's pretty cool stuff. Unlike a cyanoacrylate that uses the moisture in the air and things. I'm getting down the road. I mean, I have a lot of technical knowledge about adhesives and things from some other work I do. But anyway. Oh man, I'm losing track here. I need to quit talking and start watching the chat here, because I appreciate you guys interacting on this stream here. So I'm having a lot of fun here. The Strawberry Moose says, we use Star Fluid, sometimes you get the 3010 4020 going. What she's talking about there is the John Deere 3010 4020. Those are well, tractors made in the early 60s. They're probably arguably John Deere's most famous tractors. Anyway, they're diesels. And those older diesels especially, it's suitable for doing. I'm talking about gas engines when I say I don't use starting fluid. On diesels, that's a different story because there's no spark plug for ignition. You know, diesel ignites under compression. Well, when it's cold, the starting fluid will ignite easier than the diesel at low temperatures. So that gets it going where it can get the friction and then start the chain reaction and start your diesel fuel that you're in, that injector's shooting into that cylinder. So yeah. I mean, I guess better clarify that. I guess getting here super good with the Earth to the moon. That's funny. And industrial's office less expensive. Well, not necessarily. Usually industrial means you can get it in different volumes and things. I got a lot. That's maybe a live stream for a future deal. I should get some very specialty products that I have access to and just talk about them, because they're kind of cool, abrasives and things that I like using. We could have a whole discussion about that. Bradley says I'm losing you. Oh, has my stream fallen, or I'm just getting too technical? Probably just getting too technical. Hey, no way. I just saw you pop in here. Appreciate it. What's my favorite tool for making videos? That's a good question. Well, obviously the computer I use my editing software on, which is aging, and I kind of have a plan on upgrading, but it's probably not going to be for another year. And I guess that's a good segue into saying, hey, if you guys want to donate via Super Chat down in there, hit the $sign, donate $1 or whatever you want to donate to the Help Me Buy a New Computer Fund, I guess you could call it. No, I'm saving my money on that for that. But yeah, my computer. But honestly, it's the editing software. I mean, yes, camera and all that, microphones and things, my shotgun mic here and whatnot. But no, the editing software, I use Vegas 14 Pro, and but you know, it's got to run on something. It's got to run on something half decent if it wants to run, and that's what I say. Computer needs an upgrade, and like I said, you know, give a view, turn your ad block off, let an ad roll. That helps keep content coming. But anyway, so I'd say my computer, my main computer, not this one that I'm streaming on. This is a hodgepodge together rig, and I got a video on it too that I'm doing the streaming here from. Let's see here. Yeah, no way. My stream is failing. You know what? That's probably due to my internet connection here. I'm running over my wireless connection, which is pretty fast, but it's not. Actually, YouTube doesn't recommend it, but I've been doing it the last couple times. So I guess I'm going with that. I'm not on my wired connection. Uh, Says my stream's going pretty good, but yeah. And it could be because you're up in Canada there. Anyway, I apologize if the excuse me, if the stream's going a little wonky. Uh, you vote if you're voting. Well, I'm not taking votes, but for the hammer, yeah, hammer, hammer. Everybody should have a hammer. Um, hey, good. Thanks. Maybe it's just your internet connection there, Bradley. But appreciate you watching either way. Yeah, hammer is a good tool, even if you just get a bigger one. Yeah, well, I can't get a big one, but we got the old mini sledge here we can use as well. This is a 4-pound. If I got to get that out, you probably don't want to be near me. If I'm having to get that thing out, I'm probably not in a very good mood. Yeah, you're in the boonies up in there, Canada. Yeah. Well, Canada is the boonies, in my opinion. No, it's great. I want to go skiing up in Canada. Actually, my parents have done it. Tell me where roughly, British Columbia, whatever, Ontario, wherever. Tell me where you're from, actually. I'm a little curious now. Oh, let's see. Sonic says, by the way, earnings from YouTube should increase in March with YouTube partner program. Yeah, for sponsor. Oh, yeah, and I don't want to get off topic of that, but yeah, I know. But I just do my own thing. I did it before I was getting paid to do it in a way, and I'll do it if I never. So yeah, it is what it is, and yeah, I mean the pool should be smaller, so the demand for where to place ads should drive up ad rates, but it is what it is. I don't worry about it too much, really. Yeah, the 4-pound sledge is good for replicating the Office Space scene. Oh, you're from Ontario. Okay, so you're on that end of the country. Never been there, but I mean, I'm familiar with the geography, I guess. Folding army shovel, says Jack Boo. Yeah, I have one of those. I have one in each one of my pickups for just for whenever. I've actually only had to probably use it once, and that's just camping, digging a fire pit. It kind of sucks, but hey, when it's all you got, it's all you got. Let's see here. No Way says, do you get a say in the ads that show on my videos? No, I don't. No, I don't. That's completely up to Google's algorithm. And in general, this is the way it works, just for people who care. Like this video is going to be about tools. Probably people who find this archived are going to search something about tools or favorite tools. And when they watch it, if a company like DeWalt or Makita happens to have an ad budget and they bid on one of the keywords that's on this video or a keyword that somebody used to find this video, it may show them a DeWalt ad. That's kind of how it's going to work. Otherwise, it's just going to backfill with whatever ads they have available. If a more premium ad that's real targeted like this, it'll backfill to probably just a more generic ad for like a Procter & Gamble or something product or something maybe. But no, I have no control. I can check a box about having like sensitive ads. So if there are advertisers for like, well, I don't know, companies that maybe sell maybe adult products, that's what I'll call them. If I check that box, it won't show on my videos for my viewers. I just leave it wide open. Just because, my channel, I don't care. But if I did more kids content or something, I might want to check that. On my website, I do use Google AdSense, so I have Google Ads there. And there I have a little more control on kind of the ad streams. So I do cut out ones that just totally aren't for the type of content on my site company areas. It's kind of like grouped by areas. So like I could say like no feminine products or something, that's like a grouping, but it doesn't narrow down that much, but that's give you an idea. So yeah, there is a little bit of control, but not a lot. It's usually the advertisers control more where their ads are going to play than anything. They have a lot of a dashboard that they can say these keywords, this, that, and the other. But that's what the big controversy is YouTube didn't give them very good tools in the beginning on that. But we're getting way off topic here. So let's get back to tools. I mean, that is a tool. My website analytics and all that, that's a tool I use, digital tool, but I use it. Let's see. I lost interest in the ads when you said no. Okay. Interesting. You didn't know that. Yeah. No, that's okay. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure I was very clear that, like I said, it's largely out of my hands. And like I said, if I get ad money, I get ad money. If I don't, I don't. No biggie. Yeah, let's get back to the tools here. Jarmuth says a tire machine. Well, yeah, that'd be great. But most people don't have as many vehicles and wheels and tires as we do and things. So a tire machine probably isn't necessary for most people, but I miss it. I miss having ours. Favorite tool for road trips. That's a good. I'll tell you an important tool. I wouldn't know if it's my favorite, but if your vehicle requires kind of a tool to release the belt tensioner for the serpentine belt, carry that tool. There's ones that are sort of universal or fit a lot of different models, and there's ones that work for that. But carry that one in your trunk or behind the seat, along with your spare serpentine belt. That's probably my most important tool on a road trip, because if that belt breaks, you're kind of stuck. But if you have one and the tool if you have the belt and you don't have the tool to pull that, you can't replace it, or it's very difficult to do it. So I'd say that's one tool for if you're road tripping. And Bradley says, found your channel a few years ago when looking for info on restoring gas tanks. Any new restoration videos coming? Well, you can kind of see back here, I'm doing some toy restorations now. It's wintertime, like it is for you, for me. Motorcycles, though, is probably what you mean. But yeah, that video is coming, working on it. Off camera is my camera setup, and my lights, and my microphone, and all that. So yes, that's coming. I don't know if that's what you mean, but motorcycles, no, not at this time. To do a motorcycle, I gotta be in the mood. There's some I have waiting in the wings to do. I shouldn't even say this because then I'm gonna get tons of comments everywhere like, do that, do this, do that, do that. But I guess I'll say I have some Kawasaki triples to do. I have an F7 that will kind of match my F5 that I'd like to do. I have well, it's my dad's. That is a 1968 A7 SS. That wouldn't be a necessary restore. That would be like a cleanup because it's in great shape. Just some of the rubber parts and things, and then just dirty. Just needs a little cleanup, but it has a nice good patina there. Yeah, I got some of those. Probably not gonna get to those anytime soon. So I'm sorry for that. Right now, I'm really interested in the vintage toys here, and eventually for my son to play with. He's a little young for this one yet, but he will eventually get it. And they were my dad's. He played with them a lot. They were mine, and then kind of passed down to me. I played with them a lot, and I hope to refurbish them and do that. So those are coming. I got tons more. Actually, they're spread out all over. You can't see all over my garage, because me and my son were out here playing with them, uh, and having a go all the time. But anyway, let's see. I wish I had a time for your Honda Hornet motorcycle. Hornet. I'm not familiar with that. I'd have to Google that one. A tire machine. I'm talking for like car and truck tires, and when I say truck tires, I mean semi tires. But you love all your oil cans as well. Do you have an oil can collection there? No way. It's out of view here, but if I tilt it up a little bit, let's see here. See that? See that yellow can up there? That's a 5-gallon John Deere multi-purpose, oil can from probably the '60s or something. Just out there for display. So is that what you're talking about there? No way. Battery air pump is handy. Yes, that's really handy. Let's see. If I had to build an emergency toolkit for the road, what would I have on hand? Well, I would say the serpentine belt, the tool to move the tensioner, like I said before. I would have this type of wrench or equivalent for your battery. This is for a side terminal. It's an 8mm and it's a ratcheting kind. So in case loose battery connection, you need to clean them, undo it, redo it, replace the battery, go to a battery shop or somewhere to buy a battery and replace the battery. There you go. That I would definitely have in there. Obviously a roll of duct tape. I'd say a tow strap because sometimes you need to be towed, and sometimes it's nice to have that as extra. Obviously, first aid kit, and especially like blankets and things if it's going to be in a cold climate, that kind of stuff. I mean, basic stuff. Tools wise, some open end wrenches for if if it's metric or SAE, whatever most common sizes should have. That kind of thing, and then maybe a 1/4-inch drive just because it's small. I mean, you're going to be limited by anything, but if you're just getting the bare minimum, I'd also have a can of WD-40. Never know. You can always use that for various uses, of course. I'm sure paper towels, some rubber gloves or something. A quart of oil. Of appropriate oil for whatever vehicle, and a gallon of antifreeze. You just never know to get you, that gets you down the road or something. Obviously, electrical tape, duct tape. I think I said that. There's some of that silicone repair tape. That stuff's really good too as an emergency fix for certain, just different things. And zip ties. Buy a bag, a can, I don't care, whatever. Zip ties. You never know. Those. Watch the YouTube, the Motor Trend YouTube channel and Roadkill, and follow their instructions when you're doing emergency repairs. Just kidding, but yeah, actually, you can do a lot with a little. Let's see. What about a toolkit for motorcycle on the road? Motorcycle. Let's see. Do I have mine handy? Oh, dang, it's strapped to the bike back there. I'll have to try to remember off the top of my head what all I got in there. I have a tire plug kit. This is if you have tubeless tires. Tire plug, the little CO2 cartridges, a couple of them, air inflators, get you going. For tube type, bikes and things. Obviously, if you can carry some small tire spoons and things. And then I like the little stick-on patches. They're actually mostly for bicycles because you don't need any rubber cement, and they kind of self-vulcanize. I've used them, and they actually last a long time. But to get you down the trail, get you back to the pickup, especially off-road. There you go. Those do work. I've used them. I will endorse those. You can find them in like the bicycle section at even like Walmart. So obviously, 2 different screwdrivers, flat. And your Phillips. Let's see, if your bike is primarily hex head stuff, have a 8, 10, and 12. If it's got Allens like my BMW back there, I forget what the sizes are, but I have whatever ones that do almost nearly all the fasteners on that. Um, the axle bolt wrench of some sort to get the axle off or out in case you have to take the wheel off or whatever. So that's going to be bike specific. Um, let's see. Obviously, electrical tape, a little bit of duct tape, and those small little rolls. I might even have one. Okay, they make little rolls, kind of more like almost sample rolls. Those are perfect. Zip ties, and I'm forgetting some things, but that would be the main things that I'd do. Um, excuse me. How do I feel about quick steel? Use it, and I use the quick aluminum. I've used it for other things, not just on motorcycle stuff. I know that's how they kind of tout it, but I've used it in other things, in making models and even making little intricate pieces and parts and fixing dings and side covers, almost like a Bondo in a way. Like if there's scratches and such, because you can finish it. I like the stuff. I like the stuff. There's all different kinds of that stuff too. Amazing stuff. But I like it. That quick steel and quick aluminum are the two, but there's a couple others. Yeah, quick steel like JB Weld. Yeah, JB Weld has a version. Let's see. Actually, sorry guys. Yeah, here we go. Well, you can't see it, but yeah, here's a little bit of it that I have around because, like I said, I use it for more than just. It can be used for more than what it is. But anyway, yeah, I like it. Now it had with the JB. Well, not JB Weld. This kneadable epoxy. Yeah, I don't ever use JB Weld because I have access to more specialty adhesives. Actually, because we're talking about these, I have a little bit of it here. This one, you will not find this in retail. The only epoxy that will bond nearly every type of plastic or and low surface energy plastics there. Requires a special applicator mixing tips. This is only available in the industrial markets, but this is good stuff. DP 8005 is what is it called? As far as adhesives, like I said, I might think up a stream and we'll just talk about industrial adhesives and abrasives because that's kind of a good topic actually. And Katie says, throw your emergency content in somewhere on the bike, either under the seat or insurance. Yeah, that's another thing with your toolkit is, like, I know this sounds morbid, but things like next of kin and just other people, your emergency contacts, not with your name and then their name, people that you wouldn't mind an emergency responder or a first responder to call in case, for example, like on a motorcycle, you something happened and you're on the side of the road and you're laying there and somebody finds you. They start hunting around, and they can find that and they can, help identify you, help identify, like I said, people that need to know that you're in distress, all that. I know it's kind of morbid, but even in a vehicle, that'd be a good thing to do is have it in the vehicle, glove box, whatever, somewhere where most people would think to look for it in those kind of situations. That's a good idea. Laminate it, yes. Hey, Jack. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you next time. He's got to hop out. Yeah, get your body back home. Yeah, I mean, just think about, just think about, what you might need on the road. And like I said, if you're ever disabled and somewhat, so somebody else could help you too. That's another thing. I know I've helped some disabled motorists over the years where because they had a spare whatever, like the serpentine belt, but they didn't know how to replace it. I was able to help them get on the back of the road, So, and you keep a tag on your toe. Okay. I I was reading that. I thought tote as in like your saddlebags or something. Well, yeah, yeah, there you go. Or get one of them silicone bracelets, and just don't ever take it off with with all your info. But that's it's a good kind of thing. Information on your person, yes. I mean, if you're motorcycle riding specifically, I mean, put it both places because you never know. But yes, have it in your jacket pocket or something. Anyway, but yeah, that'd be good. I mean, usually people have their wallet. Men generally have their wallet in the back pocket there. So have emergency contact on you, but also have it on your bike. Is that? So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, don't put it on your pinky toe because in case you lose your pinky toe. Just a name and an emergency contact are pretty safe to have out anywhere. Yep. And actually, I don't have. Well, where is it? Is it in here? You know what? Sorry, guys. I should have prepped. Well, I didn't think our conversation was going to go this way, but I'm glad it did. Talking about emergency stuff, and I've had this. I was an early adopter of this back in 2006 when they launched this. This little device here. They've updated this and they have more options, and this is the most basic one. Spot, personal tracker. Kind of like a PLB or personal locating beacon, except for this thing here. Works on satellites, obviously. And turn it on. But the good thing is here, what you can do is you can send, hey, I'm okay, and it gives a GPS position, and you set your contacts up beforehand, but and it'll send out emails, text messages to whoever, whatever, and then you have the help, which says, hey, I need a help to those same contact people that you choose and set up, and then you hit this one, and then search and rescue and the helicopters and everything, they're coming out to look for you. This is a service-based. It's like $199, or it might be cheaper. It was when they launched, and I recently discontinued it. I can turn it on and off. That's the beauty, is you don't have to. You can turn your subscription on and off. So, and it's primary for backcountry people. But anyway, it's you have to go to their website to look at their current rates. But you can turn it on and off, the subscription part, when you want to use it. But it was like $99 a year, so about so less than $10 a month, and that also got you some search and rescue, like insurance protection for like a helicopter ride and stuff. So actually a great value and something. Now, granted, you become unconscious, you can't probably hit that 911. However, this does have a tracking feature, so you can have it always sending tracks, and then of course your contacts will be getting them, and then if they see you're in the one place forever and ever and you don't make it back to camp or wherever, and it's sitting there sending you, they'll be able to find you. That's the whole idea behind this. Yes, there's drawbacks, but the positives definitely outweigh the drawbacks of this little device. If you're heavy into backcountry skiing, off-road motorcycling, especially you'll do like a lot of mountain riding and stuff in places that are hard to get to. I always take this. It's very, very handy. Works where cell phones don't. That's its deal. So, anyway, let's see. Let's go here. Already have no entry. Okay, can't. Sonic Orb says can't prep for a live stream. That's the way I like them. Oh, you like them off the cuff here, I guess. I'm a little behind in the chat. Sorry. Tell me what you mean there, Sonic. Yeah, and Katie says the spot. She's familiar with it. Says so she can find me when I'm riding my bike. Yeah. Yeah, and Strawberry says, yeah, that's featured in Survival Magazine. Yeah, the other day. Yeah, it's always talked about. It's a great device. Yeah, and Fur Works YT. Yeah, no, it isn't very expensive. And like I said, this is the first gen and the most basic model, but they have other ones that you can Bluetooth to your phone, so you can actually send customized messages. This one, you customize the message before you leave, so it's very simple, just a couple buttons. Put some lithium batteries in there. It's shockproof, it's waterproof, um, extreme temperatures, all that. I've even tested this thing backcountry skiing in blizzard conditions where I had to stop because I couldn't see 5 feet in front of me. It still got the signal out, so it works. I highly endorse this unit and that service. If you're doing that kind of thing. No way. Thought you were on the run, Junkman. Oh, I see. It's shut off now. Oh, did my stream quit? No, we're still rolling, I think, here. Hey, give me some feedback in the chat, because it looks like I'm still rolling here. Okay. Well, it looks like some people were having some dropouts here, and we're running up on an hour here. I don't know. Hey, if guys got any other things you'd like to talk about, let's get going. I mean, actually, Fur, you kind of came in late here. What's one of your favorite tools? Furworks YT. By the way, anybody who isn't subscribed to him, better go subscribe him. He makes some kind of funny videos, garage videos, things of that nature. Go subscribe to him. I always like to give him a shout out because he's somewhat of an inspiration for the comedy side that I try to do, but I don't do well. So, hey, good. I'm glad we're back online. Hey, I'm doing it over wireless connection, and that's not ideal. So I understand. I said I'm an undisclosed location. Oh yeah, well, I'm in the USA. Yeah. Furwork says my Precision Instruments split beam torque wrench and the M12 sander buffer. Okay, yeah, those are great tools. That you have to do some videos on that because I've only read about that torque wrench. Here's the deal: I use a torque wrench. I have some. But honestly, I don't use them all the time. Don't have to use them all the time, I guess. But those are probably your favorites. The M12 is awesome with roll-locks. Yeah, and for people who don't know what he's talking about when he's talking about roll-locks, well. This is an abrasive. Well, I don't. This is an example of a roll-lock attachment. This happens to be a bristle disc, but yeah, that's why maybe we should have an abrasive stream because I gotta actually. Speaking of, I was going to talk about this tool, and this is the original version. They've got an updated one here, but another cool. A file belt sander. I mean, obviously, this is the Dynabrade Dynafile. This is the Model 1, the original one, which really it's just this head on a die grinder or disc sander handle here. But very versatile tool here. This could use different widths of belts, but they're 18 inches long. Like I said, I'll talk more about this when we get into maybe some abrasive stuff. This is a cool tool if you have enough to use it. That's another one that I know Katie likes to mess with too. And let's see. All right, let's. I'm getting behind on the chat here. Oh yeah, yeah. Is she in the background here? Yeah, hang on, Nana. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Here we go. My garage helper kitty decided to make an appearance here. She's the one that likes to be out here when I'm working on things. My other cat don't want anything to do with the garage if I'm out here. So, yeah. All right, there you go. Yeah, that's good company out here. Oh, Sonic, suggestion on torque range, analog versus digital. I've always just used analogs. Furworks probably has an opinion on this. I don't really have an opinion either, or I prefer analogs. I actually prefer the beam type mostly. The thing is, you know, it just depends on what you're doing. Let's see, I do have here's my click type. It's kind of more of an inexpensive one, but just for small jobs here. Like I said, I hesitate talking about torque wrenches because that tends to be a controversial subject, I know. But I'd like to hear Furworks' opinion. Half inch, but from a half inch drive up, my beam style type. And then I do have what is this? Probably the early '70s style Digitorque. It's not digital; it's analog. I actually have only used this one a couple of times, but I do like it. I do like the adjustments. I like the feel. You know, it makes it look like it's digital, but they're just numbers printed on there, and you turn it here and adjust. But you know, for me, they get the job done. If I was doing things where I was using a torque wrench daily, I would definitely have a more expensive and, you know, like Snap-on Mac, whatever, or one of them, you know, like Precision Instruments, something, you know, real high quality here. But for the average person, my opinion, all those kind are probably going to be are going to be good enough for most people. Yeah. Angle grinder, yeah, that's a good tool to have. I have two. Actually, speaking of Harbor Freight, there's an instance where, of course, I bought that one back in the early 2000s, and it still works. And I had a DeWalt, and it kind of the gearbox or the right angle drive or gears stripped out on it. So that's one that's a mystery to me how the Harbor Freight one has lasted, because I don't treat it well. It gets dropped, it gets run in the dirt. I use it for things that's not designed for. All the guys are gonna laugh, but I've used a 36 grit flat disc to cut a 2x4 in half in one time. And well, I already cut it in half, but I needed to clearance it, so I just went, you know, just grabbed it and almost was stopping the motor. So, and it's still going. So that's not an endorsement for their electric tools, because I think most of their electric stuff, I don't have much of it, if any. Well, that's the only electric Harbor Freight is crap. But that one, for some reason, I must have got one of the good ones. But anyway, that's just a funny story. Furworks says the split beam are nice because they have the lockable dial to set the torque instead of twisting the handle. Yeah, I agree. Sonic, I'm newer to your channel. What's your background and channel focus? I want to answer Sonic's question there, because, yeah, you might wonder. I mean, I'm talking about tools. You see them in the garage, and I have various tools here that we've been talking about. My background is agricultural. I grew up on a family farm. My parents still farm, and so I have a lot of that that know-how and ingenuity. We fixed the reason why I have a lot of different tools and know a lot of different know a little bit about a lot of things is we fixed and worked on all of our own equipment. Rarely took it into the shop, um, and so that's my background and why I know and fix motorcycles. And my primary channel focus is kind of motorcycle how-to tech kind of things, answering questions like we're answering here. Yeah, see you, no way. And that's why I'm doing this kind of stream, because that's what I normally do. But I'm a closet retro gamer, so I do kind of like to talk about that stuff. I do like to get into electronics just a little bit, um, um, and things of that nature. I also like to do model building, like plastic models. That's why if you look on my channel and my website, if you haven't been to my website there, Sonic, you better head on over there, because I have more of all my hobbies. So my channel is kind of, I call it a variety channel, but it's the Junkman's Adventures. They are my adventures in life. Sounds kind of corny, but an adventure can be anything where you're learning something new, and I like to just share my knowledge or what I'm doing. Not so much like a vlogger, but just, hey, I decided I'm going to teach you how this carburetor works or something like that. So I'll make videos, something that adds to the community, and I like creating videos. But you know, my focus is mostly some kind of tech centered around doing things with your hands. So that could be from woodworking. Don't do a lot of woodworking, but just making and repairing things. That's why I'm on a toy restoration kick. So I already have a couple of videos up. There's going to be more coming. Like that toy there is from like 1956, and I'm restoring. I got some other ones that are older, a few ones that are newer. They're from my childhood and things. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that is the channel focus. That's what I do here. And these live streams, I like this interaction. I get to learn about my viewers. They get to learn a little bit more about me. I do my best to answer all comments on my videos or my website. And so that's what I do. I enjoy making. I'm a maker. Whether it be a video, this live stream, restoring that toy, building a diorama, like for example, here I built this long, it needs some restoration. I'm actually going to modify it. Plastic models like this. I mean, this I built 15 years ago, and it's falling apart. It actually fell off the shelf. That's part of it. But anyway, taking a Hot Wheels car like this, taking it apart, modifying it, making a little diorama out of it. I got a whole series on that. That's it. I mean, I try to stay into the retro stuff. Yeah. 19 H. Whitaker. Hey, you restore farm tractors. Yeah. I've restored many cars, and like I said, I come off the farm, and of course we have a lot of our old equipment and stuff. Just the restoration of tractors just never interested me. I guess I don't know, just never did. But I do like to go to threshing bees and look at the work people have done to get old tractors running and put them into at least an operable condition to demonstrate things like plow days and vintage harvests and stuff. I like to watch that. So that's pretty cool. Do you have some videos on your channel? I might have to go check you out later. Yeah, and Katie there says that dump truck he did just gets the daily hauling around toys and books. Right? Yeah, my son plays with my old Tonka dump truck, and you can see me restore it. I did it before he was born, and yeah, now he's old enough. He pushes it all over and puts his toys in it and drives it all over the house and dumps it and then loads her back up. Steam tractors, yes. Steam traction engines, yes. I really like those. Actually, another hobby of my family's is like hit and miss engines. I like those. I have thought about messing around and doing some of that stuff on the channel even, but just didn't know how to figure that in, and I'd have to. There's some logistical challenges with doing that, but yeah, steam tractors like that too. You got to be real dedicated to work on those things. Excuse me. Boy, mouth is getting a little dry. Getting a little, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I have a little bit of cold here. So you know, I might be cutting this stream here close here, but Furwork says a bunch of antique steam and gas Holt and Best and early cat tractors just showed up at our work. That's pretty, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, crawler tractors and things like that. I'm familiar with some of those. Actually, on the farm, we used to have an International TD18. Those are from the 50s. Actually, maybe the 40s originally. Well, anyway, International TD18. Pretty popular crawler tractor for International. Everybody thinks of the, you know, like the the D4 and D6, you know, cats and things, but 57. Yep, that's right. The TD18's 1957. I knew it was in the 50s, but I think they actually might have used them actually in the war for, or it started then, but of the Holton Bet. I don't, yeah, I know of them but yeah. Actually, I got a video on my website with that TD18, just loading and unloading it off of our semi-trailer. So if anybody's kind of interested, I don't have any of it working. That was before we had a video camera. Yeah, they're for, okay. No, we don't have a, yeah, do you have a video? Actually, take a video put it up on your, channel there. I'll watch it for sure. I know other people will too. Strawberry Moose says, yeah, the Snow Globe snowblower, that's up on the website too. That's a interesting vehicle right there. Talk a lot about that too. But yeah, well, you know, guys, getting a little bit scratchy throat here. I wished I felt better, but this was a good stream. Had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed talking a little bit about tools and things, and learned a little bit about my favorite tools, and I learned a little bit about your favorite tools and some of your tool recommendations and things. So, hey, after the stream is archived, it'll be archived shortly hereafter. And why don't you leave some comment down in the comments there of some of your favorite tools. And if you're watching this archived, yeah, leave a comment of your favorite tool, and I'll be sure to respond to you. So, hey, until next time, I want to try to do this again soon. I can't tell you exactly when, but watch that notification box. Oh, and by the way, for everybody watching here, my channel just was awarded the community tab, which is kind of like I can send out like more text or picture updates, kind of like a tweet, but a little different, but different than just uploading a video. So it's more short, quick interactions. So be looking for that. So subscribe, click that bell to get the email and everything notifications, and interact with me over on the community tab. It should be showing up in your stream when your news feed, or not news feed, but your feed of your subscribers and things when I post updates there. I might start posting some pictures of projects and progress and just things, and I'm going to try it out. I was awarded that community tab just today, actually. I noticed it showed up. They didn't even give me an email saying, oh, by the way, you can now use the community tab. It replaces the old discussion tab for those that even know about it. So I appreciate you guys all for watching. Subscribe, click that bell, go to my website, visit my affiliate links if you'd like. Like I said, view my videos. Any little bit helps. and I'll see you in the next stream. Good night.